There we go.
Go.
We are live. Okay, so here we are. Hello, Hayo, and hello to
Yeah.
everybody who might be
Hello,
there.
Kevin.
Anybody who's listening and watching, of course, uh, this this is live, but we are also recording it, and it will show up later as a recording for those who would like to watch this or share this with your friends. So, first of all, I think most of you know me. I'm Kevin McNulty, and this is my dear friend, old friend, and former bandmate Hayo Chiskowski. Let me just say real quick about you, Hayo. You're, um, you know, particularly between you and Bodo, I just found such a dear friendship in both of you. Um, Two different personalities altogether, but
Yeah.
I do thank you so much for your friendship. And everybody, Hayo is the bass player for Forest and other bands, but he was one of the original members of Forest back then. But let me just ask, Hayo, tell me how you met. Before we go there, so we're just going to spend a few minutes here, probably about 30 minutes, just paying a little tribute to Bodo Gross, who's a very dear friend of ours, a longtime friend of mine, but even longer for Hayo. And, I will tell you very frankly that one of the last messages that he left for me on What's Up before he passed away in December was to not let his music die. And there's only so much that we can do, but in the end, this is what Hayo and I are doing to try to pay some tribute to Bodo Gross as the person, but also the musician and really an extraordinary songwriter. So, Hayo, thank you for co-hosting this with me, and would you please just tell everybody, how you met Bodo and just, maybe just a little bit about that.
Ja, erstmal schönen guten Abend an alle, die hier in dem Stream, in der Übertragung drinne sind. Ich werde den Part in Deutsch machen. Kevin macht das in Englisch. Ich werde das äh, in Teilen übersetzen, wo es nötig scheint. Und ja, Mensch, wie habe ich Bodo kennengelernt? Ich war zu der Zeit, ich hatte studiert, war noch in einer anderen Band und habe nebenbei in einem Musikgeschäft gearbeitet hier in Walldorf. Und dann kam dann irgendwann so ein langhaariger Junge rein und wollte eine Gitarre haben. Sollte nicht so viel kosten. Ich habe ihm dann ein paar Sachen gezeigt und er hat viel durchgespielt und das hörte sich alles sehr interessant an, was er da so gespielt hat und vor allen Dingen, wie er gespielt hat. Und ja, er ging dann mit einer Gitarre raus. Sie hatte ungefähr doppelt so viel gekostet, als er wollte. Und wir sind aber da in Kontakt geblieben, weil die Musik, das hat mich interessiert, was er äh, so gespielt hat. Das war nicht einfach so was man damals „House of the Rising Sun“ nachgespielt oder irgend so was. Ne, das waren alles schon eigene Sachen und das war sehr interessant. Und ja, irgendwann haben wir uns zusammengesetzt und haben Pläne geschmiedet. Und dann kam da 'ne Band raus, in der ich allerdings nicht, von Anfang an Bass gespielt habe. Ich war irgendwie, ja, Teil der Band, aber, nicht zu hören. Dann gab's einen ersten Auftritt und dann flog der aktuelle Bassist raus und dann war ich am Zug. So, also ich war so 77, 78, äh, zwar Gründungsmitglied, ab 78, ab dem zweiten Auftritt war ich dann der Bassist. Ja, und dann ging das Experiment Forest los. Und das war ein sehr langes Experiment, sehr intensiv zeitweise. Wir haben sehr viele Leute kennengelernt, Kevin unter anderem. Ich weiß nicht, Bob, bist du auf der Leitung? Wenn ja, gib mal ein Lebenszeichen von dir. Aber das ist so mal ganz kurz umrissen, wie ich Bodo kennengelernt habe.
So now, Hayo, and I should tell everybody that obviously he's speaking in German because there are many German friends who will watch this, perhaps even more than American or English, I should say. But Bodo, Hayo, you get to maybe just somewhat repeat that in English.
Yeah,
Just give us the short
sure.
version.
Give you a brief version of that. I met Bodo while I was studying and working in a music store here in Waldorf, where I live in my hometown. And a long-haired guy, young chap, came in and wa- wanted to buy a guitar. He worked through some of what we had to offer, and uh, I was astonished what he was playing. Not the usual things you copy from your stars. No, no, he played own stuff and in a versatile way that made me um, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, and so he bought a guitar, spent almost doubled the money he wanted to spend, but the guitar was fine.
yeah.
He he had it. He kept it very long, and and well, uh, I was playing in a in a in a dancing combo at this time, but not for very much longer. Um, we met very often in the time after that, uh, and talked about music and started to set up a new group that was that was to be the band that performs his ideas, his musical ideas. It was later on named Forest, and
Yeah.
well, I was one of the foundation members, but I didn't. I I just uh, joined the band only in the second gig they had. For the first gig, they had another bass player, but he left after that gig, or he was asked to leave. And well, that's in short
Sure.
how I
It's very
met Bodo.
interesting. May I ask when was this that you met him?
This was, I think, the first was in '76,
Okay.
uh, last century.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, 76 to
Yeah.
77 about that, and the foundation of Forest was in
Yeah.
'78,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You know, I must add, Hayo, that, and you already know this, that, it doesn't matter where in the world you are at, but to try to introduce a band or let's say even popularize a band in whether it's local or more than that and play original music, it's almost impossible to do. People want to
yeah,
hear until you become popular and have a hit and everybody loves it. But it was the one interesting thing about Bodo and Forrest and you and everybody is that you all put forth some. Now, I joined the band in 1981, I think was the first time, I believe.
yeah, about
And,
that.
yeah, and I remember thinking, and I had been a songwriter for many, many years, so I was familiar with good songs. I'll say I paid attention to it, and I remember my first interaction with you all and going, wow, this is some really, really good music. And we're going to play some of it here in just a moment. Before we keep going, what I'd like to do now, and again, for everybody that's listening, we're just going to do a few things. We're going to only do this probably about 30 minutes or something like this. And I'm going to show you some videos. We're going to play a few songs by Bodo, and just to share your life with them. But the first thing I would like to do, and by the way, I mean, we're using, I guess, some high tech stuff here on Restream, but I'm not going to act high tech. I'm just gonna muddle through all of this, make my way through it and see what happens. Um, so what I'd like to do is just maybe spend 30 seconds in a moment of silence, and you can do what you want. You can watch the short video that I have. It's just really a one page, and by the way, with Bodo playing just some random song I really had not heard that much about in the background, and we'll just be silent for a moment. Hayo, would you just share that, please? With in German, please.
Ja, Kevin hat gerade gemeint, bevor wir jetzt anfangen und in die Zeremonie, sagen wir es mal so, einsteigen, möchte er gerne, dass wir ungefähr 30 Sekunden innehalten. Er wird ein kurzes Video oder ein paar Bilder ablaufen lassen, vielleicht ein bisschen Background-Musik. Und wir sollen einfach mal innehalten in Bodos Gedenken und danach geht's dann weiter. Danke.
So just a moment there of silence, and again, that was one of Bodo's songs. I didn't really even know it or recognize it. Did you recognize it? It was called "I Think I Love You" or something like this.
Not really.
No, I just found it.
Nicht
I just
nicht
found it.
nicht wirklich. Äh, Dazu muss man sagen, there's something to say to this. Bodo gave us so many songs, and among us bandmates, gave us so many ideas
Oh,
and and short pieces of music, and we recorded so much that I really don't know every piece of music we did.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I know this song probably didn't made it on a record, but
Yes. And
surely it sounds like
yeah,
Bodo.
yes, no question.
Also,
And
noch mal kurz in Deutsch. Ich habe das Lied nicht wirklich erkannt, aber Bodo war so produktiv, der hat so viel gemacht und, äh, er hat noch wesentlich mehr gemacht, was wir nur in der Band so vielleicht mal angespielt haben als Idee, was es aber niemals auf eine Schallplatte oder CD gebracht hat. Also, ich selbst habe das Lied nicht erkannt, aber es ist typisch Bodo.
so yes, and by the way, I don't actually know how many albums he did, but or CDs. I mean, but uh, more than 10, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was just
It's
so
it's
many.
it's about it's about 15, 16.
Wow, really.
There are some samplers where we put together some of our favorites, or we had later on we had some live collections of earlier gigs uh, released on a CD. At least 16.
Yeah.
In his late days, he produced some more as Forrest. In his late days, he produced some more as Bodo and Friends,
Yes. Yes.
and mostly he changed to bluesier
Yes, he did.
stuff.
Yes.
And well, there were about 3 or 4 additional to the, so
Yeah.
maybe it can end up to 20
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
20 albums.
Yes, if you want to share that very quickly in German.
Ja, also Kevin fragte gerade, wie viel CDs da überhaupt produziert wurden. Also mit allen Samplern, wo man auch frühere oder ganz frühe Konzerte drauf hatten, Konzertmitschnitte, die teilweise auf Kompaktkassette gemacht wurde, also ganz easy, dürften das so 16 Stück gewesen sein. Und zum Schluss hat er ja dann noch unter Bodo and Friends Sachen veröffentlicht, was so hauptsächlich Blues war. Das können also unterm Strich zusammen so gut 20 Alben gewesen sein.
Yeah. So Hayo, so maybe just a few things about the different aspects of Bodo. He was a diverse man. He had diverse ideas. He was an interesting guy. I mean, listen, he would
Ja,
probably be the first to tell you that he had his own demons in life, but he was a man well intended, and his life was music. I mean, he passed up a lot of things to stay in the
absolut.
music, and frankly, um, even in his last days, he was still creating music. I was actually working with him on this little documentary where I was narrating, and this man barely could walk, couldn't use one of his hands and arms. I mean, he had so many problems, but he still figured out a way to produce music.
Ja, uh, even it's about 4 or 5 weeks before he passed away. He asked me to give him a collection of the Forest albums because he wanted to present it to some people he learned to know even then.
Wow. I mean, just
Even days before he passed away, he tried to spread his music. As unbelievable guy.
yeah, yeah. Unbelievable. And so Hayo, very briefly, I just want to talk to you about. I'll contribute a little bit to this part of the conversation, but I want to ask about him growing up, which I don't know anything, and I know you don't know a lot, but he grew up in Murfelden,
Ja,
and right, pretty much there all of his life, and I'm going to show a video shortly of some of his some of his childhood, if you will. But as a friend, just tell the folks a little bit about you know Bodo, the friend, the person, the good, bad, and ugly. It doesn't matter. I mean, again, we'll speak mostly of the good,
there there was a bit of all of that.
as as probably for all of us, right? I know for me
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, surely, sure.
Yeah. So,
Äh, well, ich
in the mind of Bodo, what's the mind
ich
of Bodo?
ich okay, ich mache es erst mal in Englisch und dann noch mal kurz in Deutsch. Ähm, well, when I met Bodo first, we talked about this very guitar he bought in the shop, and later on when we met, we talked about what he did in music, and he, I think he came to, or his first steps in music was with his father, he who played accordion,
Mm. Hmm.
and that was the step in
The beginning, yeah.
to into music. And after that, he with schoolmates and so who are into music, he started to play around. I know there was a skiffle group with about 10 people
Yeah, there'll
playing
be some
everything.
pictures of him. Yes,
Yeah, and
they look
and
straight out of Woodstock, by the way. You know?
like something like that. Yeah, Woodstock wasn't. it was it was the time.
Yeah,
It was that time, and it was that feeling,
yeah.
and there was much of fiddling around in blues rock sessions
Mm,
and so on, and nobody really was not sophisticated music. We were
yeah,
not well trained, but
right.
we are playing,
Yeah, just jamming.
learning by doing.
Yeah, love it, love it.
No? And yeah, and I think right after that skiffle group, there came Forest. There
Okay,
wasn't much before
okay.
because Forrest, when I met him, he was about 16.
My goodness, I don't think I knew that.
I Well, he was 5 years younger than me,
Hmm.
and I was, yeah, I started studying, was working in that music shop. I should be 21, so he must be 16.
Yeah,
And when we started Forest, he was 18.
my goodness, I don't think I knew
And
that. But
and and well, the drummer, Pubudra, Mike
yes,
Drone,
yes,
when he started with us, he
he
was
was 16.
15.
15, really 15.
15. We have to pick him up from his parents and bring him home safely.
So just for the people who you're talking about is
Yeah, yeah,
Michael Trone and Michelle Trone. He's the drummer. He almost seemed like a prodigy at the time. He was so good at 15. Well, I saw him at 16, and it's amazing. So please share that again a little bit in German,
ja,
what you just
ja, ja.
said, and then we're going to keep
Ich
moving.
mache das noch mal ganz kurz. Also, äh, Bodo hat seinen Einstieg sicherlich durch seinen Vater gehabt. Der hatte Akkordeon gespielt und das hat ihn an die Musik rangebracht. Er war da auch immer dabei. Da war er so 5, 6 und da ging das bei ihm los. Und in der Schule das Übliche, die Schulbands und so weiter, man hat sich rumprobiert, Rock und Blues-Sessions in der Zeit. Wir haben keinen Unterricht genommen. Wir haben uns das so angeeignet. Und dann hat er irgendwann mal diese in Mörfelden und Umgebung berühmtes Skiffle Group, da war er dabei. Das waren so 10 Leute und das war so das, was man damals gemacht hat. Und eigentlich ziemlich kurz danach kam dann schon Forrest und da war er 18. Bin 5 Jahre älter, ich war da 23 und da hatten wir dann 78 Forrest gegründet.
Yeah.
Gut.
So thank you for that, Hayo. So maybe just now I'd like to just talk a little bit about him as a lyricist and songwriter. This frankly was one of my greatest interests, and my favorite album hands down was We're Just Watching Time. I mean, and that's about the time it came out a little bit later, when I joined Forrest in
Ja.
1981. And I'll tell you, in playing the gigs with you all, some of these songs miles away and some of them other were absolutely the funnest. And it's hard to describe his songwriting. He he would do everything from blues to pop to R&B to jazzy to funk. I mean, he just was so diverse. But and really, I just felt really an incredible songwriter in my mind, and
Ja, ja.
most people here don't know him. But anyways, say that in German to the folks, and then I would like you to also mention about this song that I'm going to play here momentarily about that he thought you didn't like, Good Old Grandma, and just tell us a little bit about that. So
Ja,
please share
okay.
that. Yes.
Ja, also, äh, es geht ganz kurz. Also, Kevin hat ihn kurz nach unserer ersten, damals noch Langrille, kennengelernt. „We Are Just Watching Time", das war unsere erste Schallplatte damals noch. In 80, Kevin kam ungefähr 81 dazu und er findet also diese Variabilität, diese breite Vielfalt an Musikrichtungen, also über Rock, Blues, Funk, Jazzy und alles solche Sachen. Die Bodo hat nicht eine bestimmte Richtung Musik gemacht, sondern er hat er hat ich habe ein Echo drauf, aber gut. Er hat einfach seine Musik gemacht und, das war das war eigentlich das, was Forrest ausgemacht hat, ne? Das war auch, je nach Stimmung, es wurde kein Album hat sich wie es andere angehört, ne? Okay.
So just very briefly, Hayo, share in English about the Good Old Grandma and the song and how that came about. And That's
Ach, die good old great. Kevin, can you, uh, I think I have
you're
echo,
no, you're there. Everything's good. I just put the
but
song on the screen. Go ahead. You can.
I hear myself twice.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So maybe it's because I'm sharing too soon. So let me unshare first, and now maybe it's okay.
Okay.
Now?
No, fine.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, let's talk about good old grandma. It's it's a very, very well. It's sometimes it's a typical thing we had in forest very often. Bodo, one day we came up with an idea. Literally pulled a piece of paper out of the drawer, put it on the table, put his guitar, and started to play a song. Sounds like a song about his grandma uh, who bought him his first guitar. He was thankful for that and playing music and la la la. And I said, Bodo, the way I appreciate that, but the way you are playing this song, it sounds so sad. And even the refrain is so, the chorus is so, sounds to me a bit sad. And as Bodo, okay, you don't like, so we don't play. So, and it took me about 15 years to convince him that's it, that it isn't dislike.
Yeah.
But I just found it
It's
sounded sad to my
it's
ears. And and finally in 1999, this song found its way onto one of my favorite album, uh, Come Demons Out. Okay, Kevin,
yes. That's
should I three words about that in German?
please do.
Ja, also der Song, der jetzt kommt, das war so eine ganz typische Sache. Bodo kam irgendwann mal, hat einen Zettel aus der Schublade gezogen, hat gesagt, ich habe da eine neue Idee. Das war ein sehr früher Song von ihm, hat ihn vorgespielt, so auf der Akustik. Und ich habe gemeint, du, der ist schön, der ist gut, aber der klingt so ein bisschen traurig. Und das war jetzt so ein typischer Zug Bodo. Er hatte dann darauf reagiert und hat gesagt, so, du magst den nicht, also das spielen wir nicht. Na, das war dann ganz kurz bei ihm und das hat ungefähr 15 Jahre gedauert. Irgendwann 1999 habe ich ihn überzeugen können, dass ich den Song sehr mag, also ihn nicht mag. Äh, und dann hat er es auf eigentlich meine Lieblings-CD, Come Demons Out, hat er geschafft und da haben wir ihn dann aufgenommen. Der ist dann auch nicht mehr ganz so traurig. Ich habe dem noch ein ordentliches, fettes Backend, einen fetten Schluss, so nach Heavy Metal Ballad gegeben und ja, damit ist er dann doch verewigt worden. Aber er hat sich ungefähr 15 Jahre geziert und wollte den nicht. Wir haben ihn auch definitiv nie live gespielt.
So I'm going to play this now, and I want everybody to listen. If you're listening in German and don't listen to English much, then it might be a little bit more difficult. But I want you to pay attention to the lyrics. He was
Den,
quite the
den,
lyricist.
den Chorus, den Refrain versteht jeder.
That's right. So here it is. Good old grandma. It's a beautiful song. Please, again, listen to the lyrics that he expresses here. Okay, so Hayo, just in case you may want to mute yourself while the music's playing. I'm not sure if it will echo then, but we're going to do this here. So, can you hear okay? Hayo, give me thumbs. Okay.
And I still blame my music on and on. Good old grandma, do you hear me play? And if you listen, you will hear me say, I don't like to be remembered. Nothing in my life's that tall. But I want to be remembered for the music or not at all. I don't like to be remembered. Nothing in my life's that tall. But I want to be remembered for the music or not at all. I don't like to be remembered. Nothing in my life's that tall. But I want to be remembered for the music or not at all.
So, wow, that video itself just really fully encompasses what Bodo is all about. First of all, I didn't realize that was him playing guitar there on that, but Bodo was an extraordinary guitar player. I liken him to Santana from the standpoint that technically he didn't have all of these massive runs and things that he could use, but he could play and lead. He could make a guitar sing really in such an
Ja,
incredible way, right?
ja,
And then also, real quick, then also the graphics that you saw there, he did those, and probably the video, and then the lyrics. Hayo, he said this song, it's almost prophetic, isn't it? Because
ja,
he's describing exactly what's happening here. And he says, I love this line. I don't like to be remembered at all. Nothing in my life is that tall. Wow.
ja. Es geht gerade, Kevin sagte gerade, es geht um den Refrain, um die Worte, äh, ich möchte eigentlich ich möchte eigentlich, dass sich keiner an mich oder es braucht sich keiner an mich erinnern. Ich habe da nichts Großes vollbracht. Aber wenn man sich an mich erinnert, dann wegen der Musik oder gar nicht. Also, das ist sehr prophetisch schon und das war auch teils der Grund, warum ich das Lied damals traurig empfand, weil einfach diese Voraussicht ich konnte damals noch gar nicht an sowas denken. Äh, Ne? Also es ist ja immerhin 50 Jahre her und in short, in English, uh, that's that's the main reason why I thought this song sounds sad to me, because this prophetic part in it, that he was thinking about things that will happen 50 years later, actually.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's,
Uh,
but it's one of his greater songs. Yeah.
yeah. Yes, I agree with you. And I didn't know it that well. And I listened to it more after you told me the story, and just, wow, mind blowing. So just a few more things. I know I said we were going to only be 30 minutes, but there you have
Oh,
it. It'll be what it is.
you
Um,
you can put Bodo into 30
no,
minutes.
no, you can't. You're right. I should have thought about
Impossible.
that first.
Impossible.
Exactly. So now I want to just show this another slide video of Bodo. It's really some of miscellaneous photos, sort of the adventures of Bodo. Listen, the other thing about Bodo is, and I don't know how much he did, but when you knew Bodo, you realize he tracked every aspect of his life. He's kept so many photos from growing up to Forest. There were times that I would see photos, even of myself playing. I was like, where did this come from? I didn't even know somebody was taking pictures. I know that it wasn't Manfred. Who was it that used to take pictures all the time? Well, Gary did for some,
Gary did, of
but who was it?
course.
Well, who was the other young guy that used to had curly hair? He'll be
I
in one of these
actually,
pictures
I
at least.
actually do not remember all of them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of guys that were helping us,
Okay.
putting things on stage and
Yeah.
down again after. But Harry and
Oh gosh, it was so many great photos.
Barry, of
Yeah.
course,
So let
and
me just let me play this little adventures of, and this is just to enjoy. And again, the song that you'll listen to it with that is also one of the songs that he wrote. It's one that I personally also very much like, and we played when we were together, Hayo. So just enjoy this little soundtrack with some video and some of Bodo's music. Again, there were so many photos that I mean, I just had to finally say I give up, you know. So let me see here. Am I? Where's the share at? Am Oh wait, maybe I did cancel share. Let me see first. Entire screen. Okay, here we go. Then the music. Um, Share. Okay, so enjoy.
Standing in the room of my first girl, thinking of the night alone in the world. Something must be wrong, I couldn't say. Past is taking good times away. Want to be happy, want to be sad. Want to love someone, but not yet. Want to be my lover, babe, taking all my troubles away. Want to be my lover, babe, taking all my troubles away.
Well, that abruptly stopped it there, but I think it gave you a good sense of that song. Won't You Be My Lover, the rest of it that we didn't get to hear was it goes into this funk. You know, I'll never forget the first time that I started playing the song with you all in Forest. And by the way, I don't know if I ever told you this, Hayo, but as a musician, I loved watching you play because you started off very subtle. You looked like a technician working it, and then when the beat hit, you just and I used to love to just groove with you because you just would get in the pocket and go with it. But that song, it would, as that soft place softened out, all of a sudden it'd go off into this funk beat that was so cool. I'll never forget it. Okay, so anyways, um, what else, Hayo? What else? Got a couple more things here, but um, I will say this very quickly that when I played with Forrest again, it was from 81 to about 86, but on and off because I kept going away.
Yeah.
I was, of course, stationed in the Air Force in Germany. I'd go and I'd come back, and you all would graciously let me get back into the group. But there were so many other players too. PJ Farley, I don't know if PJ's watching, an incredible drummer. God bless you, PJ. I know he's struggling a little bit with his health right now, and Bob Lovelace, who is an American who is living abroad, also an extraordinary guitar player. I didn't know Manfred Wright, one of the earlier players who wrote some songs with
The
him.
first guitarist, yeah.
Is that right? And Michelle Trone, and who else, that you can just mention here for the record, Hayo?
Uh,
A lot, but just try.
a lot. There were a couple of guitarists. Well,
Mm,
we wanted to put some stress off of Manfred and
mm,
looked for a second guitarist,
mm.
and because he was not very healthy
I see.
in some days, and so he quit, and we looked for something to join the band. And later on, he was back for a comeback. But there were so many guitar players in between, and Rainer Reinecke, Schneuzelpeter, Bob Lovelace, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Incredible.
Well, I might
And
mention before I forget, because I seem
Kevin,
to forget
Kevin,
things.
Kevin,
Kevin,
Kevin.
but there was also Robbie. By the way, Kevin.
Yeah.
So Kevin as a guitar player, I never really considered myself a great guitar player, but one of the things that I know when I first met Bodo, ironically met him in Moorfielden at a
Hmm.
shop where he was working, and I bought a guitar from him. That big ugly
See,
yellow
see,
Stratocaster.
history
History repeats itself. And so,
it's repeating itself.
but what he enjoyed about me, and I think I wrote this, is my rhythm.
Yeah,
I'm a strong
yeah,
rhythm guitar player, and he loved, because I was a funky player, and he loved that.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
had many good sessions at his shop before I joined Forrest. But then there's also Robbie Robinson, who, God
Yeah.
bless you if you're watching, Robbie. Joe Barnes. There was many.
Hank Wright,
Hank, yes,
Hank.
just different players, horn players, all sorts of things, and so it was really a trip. Let me, and if you would just pass that on in German, and also maybe just mention if there are some people listening in German that we just
Ja,
just a few
ja,
more
ja.
minutes here. We're going to do a couple of songs and then we'll be done.
Kevin hat gerade angesprochen, dass es ja ziemlich viele Musiker gab. Besonders für Manfred Netzko hatten wir immer mal wieder Ersatz gesucht, weil er war nicht immer besonders gesund und musste pausieren. Wir hatten uns dann auch zu einem Comeback wieder zusammengefunden, als er etwas stabiler war. Aber er weilt auch nicht mehr unter uns seit langer Zeit. Ach, da waren Rainer Reinicke und Schneuzelpeter. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie er mit Nachnamen hieß. Und Kevin natürlich und Bob Lovelace. Und dann hatten wir ja zu gegebener Zeit auch, äh, eine richtige Horn-Section mit 2 Saxophonen oder 3 Saxophonen, Entschuldigung. Da es war also wirklich immer was los in den Stilrichtungen. Wir wurden dann ziemlich funky, was auch wirklich mit an Kevin lag, weil er hat das gemocht. Bodo war auch gerade in der Zeit so funky drauf und das hat gepasst. Und dann waren wir dann plötzlich eine Kombo mit 6, 7 Leuten, mit dem richtigen Gebläse und das hat auch Dampf gemacht. Ja,
Yeah, that was, and again, about that guitar that I had, I bought a Fender Stratocaster from him. It was, I think it was an 80 model. But I used to just, what people used to tell me, they would say, your guitar, it's really loud. I say, well, I mean, what do you mean loud? I control the volume. They said, no, 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 the color. It's this bright
yellow.
yellow that was loud by itself.
Yeah, yeah, shrill.
That's right. So, and I might also just say real quick, I'm about to perform a song, really truly one of my favorite songs that Bodo wrote. It resonates with me in so many different ways. But let me just say this before I get to that part, and that is again, I want to say to you and to PJ and Michelle and Bodo, who I hope is looking down from above, and others, and Bob, who I had a chance to play with as well, that in my many years as a musician playing inside the Air Force and with other bands, I'll tell you, nothing gave me greater joy than to play with you all. I remember, even though I was the only American in the band for a period of time. And it was such a unique experience, Hayo, because we would go to places like Ludwigshausen, if you remember, on the river there,
Yep,
the
yep, yep.
festival. And I remember as an American, I just felt felt so surreal that here I am in the German environment, the German economy with German musicians. And it was so special to be a part of that and playing really great music. And by the way, we played some big gigs. I mean, this one in Ludwigshausen, it
Yeah.
was a big stage. I mean, we did some big gigs. It was so much fun. The Golden
Mhm.
Krone, I think it is. Is that right? I
Krone,
mean, no, I
Goldene
said
Krone in
yeah,
Darmstadt.
the name of it, Darmstadt, and just some other places we played on bass anyway. So was that your experience as well, Bodo, with the band Forest, this core group that it was just really extraordinary time to play music and be a performer?
Ja, äh, Kevin, das ist also wirklich das war eine spezielle Zeit und das waren auch, äh, große Auftritte. It was special time, it were great gigs and, well, later on, we often thought, "Why didn't we go professional?"
Yeah, yeah.
The music
Ah,
should have worked
yes, I do
compared to
agree.
many others, should have worked, but we went no, we didn't do it.
Yeah,
Well,
but yes, but to your point, yeah,
don't complain about it, just take it, we didn't do it, and
yes. But in the
but we
meantime,
had fun.
we had fun. We had such a good time. So, Hayo, I'm just going to, if you will allow me, I'm going to kind of perform a song that, again, it was my favorite song called "Thoughtless."
Yeah,
Um, "Thoughtless" is such a unique song. It's one that I remember looking at the lyrics, going, "Where German?" He spoke very good English, as you do. I think you actually speak much better English than he does, but it was obviously his second language, and but the way that he put his words together, even in the way that maybe a German would say it in English, like the one that I read to you earlier, that I don't like to be remembered. Nothing in my life is that tall. We wouldn't say that in English, but it fits. It's so
yeah,
perfect,
yeah,
and you will find this in Thoughtless, and Thoughtless, I
yeah.
think in some ways, Hayo, maybe Did you write songs with him, by the way? I know musically at least you contributed, but I didn't know
So,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
how
yeah,
much
yeah,
you
yeah,
involved.
yeah. A lot of.
Okay,
When he came up with ideas and just had
the draft. Yeah,
the draft, and then I had to fill in the rest of the story,
yeah,
fill
very
in
nice.
the words for a sentence, or make sentences work. That
Yes,
there's a groove to it.
very nice.
That's I
Very
I have
nice.
I did model some
Yes.
of those lyrics.
I knew that you contributed as a writer, but as you're saying this now, I'm thinking to myself that makes a lot of sense in what you just said and in the structure of some of the songs. And so I also congratulate you and all those who may have contributed, particularly to this song. And this song, in some way, epitomizes him. I mean, it just it because this was the depth of Bodo. Again, Bodo, he like all of us had sometimes a troubled mind, I think, and a troubled heart, but it was because he was so deep with his thoughts. And I think this song, Thoughtless, expresses that, basically talking about the idea of living a life without intention, without thought, is useless. And that's sort of the story. Is there more that you could say about Thoughtless, Hayo? I mean,
Yeah,
please do.
just
Yeah, yeah.
just I outed myself before we started that. Well, well, actually, uh, a couple of years after we released that uh, record, uh, he told me, actually, I wrote this song for and about you because, in my opinion, you were running around thoughtless. So, okay.
So, so I guess as we listen, we of course I know you much better than that, but nonetheless, congratulations, because whatever you appeared to him produced a beautiful, beautiful song. And so I'm going to perform it again. Listen, I'm getting old. My voice isn't what it used to be, so it'll just be what it is. I don't care what the sounds like. I would love for you to listen to the lyrics, though, everybody who's watching, and to hear this song out. And by the way, I'm going to be playing this with a track of the original song that came off of the CD. We're just watching time, and of course, so Hayo's playing the bass, and Bodo's on guitar, and I think Michelle is on drums, if I'm not mistaken. And so I was able to just remove the vocals, and so now I'm going to be singing and playing just a little bit, but most of the guitar and everything you're going to hear is from the actual CD. And so my wife reminded me of this. She said, "Kevin, this will, be your last time playing with Bodo and Hayo, if you will." But I mean, I won't count Hayo out yet, because I do come back to Germany every now and then, so we still might get a gig in. So the name of the song is Thoughtless, and again, I ask you all to listen to the lyrics and not to me singing or playing. Again, most of what you're going to be here is from him. So let me share the screen first. Okay, entire screen with the music, and you're just going to see a music thing here. Let's see. Okay, hold on a second. It's not cooperating. Okay. So now you should just see the soundtrack really sitting there, and then we're going to go from there. This beautiful song. Um, and Hayo, when I start, just give me a thumbs up that you can hear the music, okay? So forth. What kind of man should I be? Foolish but cruel, nothing to understand. What leads me right to become a good existence? Nothing is real, something concealed behind the man. And thoughtless to live is no satisfaction. It's no satisfaction for me. I'm not foolish, I'm not cruel. I'm not foolish, yes, I'm not cruel. My thoughts are much, but I'm not cool. I'm thinking of many things today, and that makes my life worth living. It's me and it's you, that's what's the truth. And thoughtlessness is not for me and you. Thoughtless to be is not living free. It's just to live without taking care. But to live without taking care, it's not worth to be there. It's the end of all ways on the earth. What kind of man should I be? Not foolish but cruel, and nothing to understand. And what leads me right to become a good existence? Nothing is real, something concealed behind the mind. And thoughtless to live is no satisfaction. No satisfaction for me. Thoughtless to be is not living free. It's only to live without taking care. But to live without taking care, it's not worth to be there. It's the end of all ways on the earth. On the earth. On the earth. And so there you have it. Wow. I'm just trying to move my screen around here. So, so congratulations there, Hayo, for for stimulating such an incredible song called Thoughtless. It's really just honestly one of my favorites. So maybe you'll say this a little bit in German, please.
Ja, wir hatten das gerade, den Song, den wir eben gehört haben, ist Kevins Lieblingssong von der ersten Schallplatte, die wir gemacht haben. Und was er vorher nicht wusste, was ich ihm kurz vor unserem Stream hier gesagt habe, dass Bodo nach ein paar Jahren eigentlich rüberkam mit der Äußerung und sagte, du, den habe ich eigentlich über dich geschrieben und für dich. Weil als ich dich so kennenlernte, da hatte ich den Eindruck, du rennst gedankenlos durchs Leben. Ja, da wollte ich dich mal drauf anstoßen, aber du hast es erst gar nicht gemerkt. Ja, das war die Geschichte hinter dem Song und ja, Kevin.
You know, I must also say before we close out here, we're going to just show one more video that Crystal all over put together of just a beautiful video that encapsulates much of Bodo's life. But again, I will say that it was what playing with Forrest was such a great memory and time for me, and I'll never forget that we practiced inside. At least when I was there, inside this cave. You remember the thing under the gas station? We'd have to climb down into this
Yeah,
practice hall. I mean,
yeah.
it was a beautiful thing.
This, but it was a great practice room.
Yes, it
We
was.
got 4 rooms, one as a workshop for repairing things, one rehearsal room, one room where we could make recordings, where our board was sitting and the reels were sitting, and one room for storage. I never had a, a practice facility like this
No, heck no.
in all the years.
Yes.
And this was for free
Yeah.
because I worked for the owner
Oh my gosh, it
of
was a
that.
tremendous place. But I do remember, again, you had to crawl down inside of this. It
Yeah,
was like a grate there at on the outside, and then you had to climb down these stairs
yep,
into a
yep,
little cubby hole, and then inside. And I remember when it came time for a gig and lifting these massive speakers out of this
yeah,
place. Remember, Gary would come in, and he was like this big German dude, man. He'd come and grab these big subwoofers and just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was so
And Kevin, I don't know if you remember one day when we were back from a gig and just restoring things downstairs. Police came with a machine gun and said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And the other guy came up, "Hey, they're putting things down, not up. They are not
that's right.
stealing. They're
Yes, yes.
musician. Leave them alone."
Leave them alone. They're just musicians. No, that's a great story there. I will also tell one other real quick story that it doesn't have as much to do with Bodo as it does the band, but you may remember this. When I think, lost Michelle or was leaving, or maybe it was Peach, I don't remember exactly. But you remember we were auditioning this drummer from Frankfurt, and he couldn't play anything unless it was written. Do you remember this?
I think so. There was one guy.
Well,
He wants to read score. Yes.
yes. Well, he
Yeah.
showed up the
He
first time.
couldn't improvise on nothing.
Nothing.
He needs score to read to know what to play. Right. I don't remember his name, but yes.
I don't either, but I remember the first time we auditioned him, and where he, I think, had the cassettes or something, or Bodo let him play the song, or whatever it was. We started playing, and I remember we all looked at him like, this guy doesn't know how to play drums. What is he doing here? And we kept trying some other songs, and they were not incredibly difficult songs to play
No,
for a
no.
drummer. And so then finally, after that, we were all just like looking around, going, what's going on here? And then he said, listen, if you don't mind, I want to take a cassette with me and maybe chart these out, and then I'll come back again and play. And he did that. And if you remember, I think you were there, he came back with the charts and played it precisely perfect.
Yeah. I think it could be Alejandro.
It sounds right,
I
actually.
don't know.
But
I,
but I remember the band. You and Bodo said, listen, thank you. You're a great reader, but that's not gonna work with
no. This this could not have worked with
us.
Forrest.
No,
No.
because you never know where we're gonna go with a song, and how long we're gonna play it.
Well, it happened often enough
Yeah,
that we uh, didn't end the song
no,
as expected.
correct. That's exactly
It
right.
changed to a complete
Yeah,
new version during
yeah.
playing.
So
Very
Hayo,
spontaneous.
no, it was very spontaneous, and I don't know if you want to share that very quickly with the German audience, and then
Ja,
we'll play
ja,
this
ja.
video.
Das war jetzt wieder so viel. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wo wir angefangen hatten. Aber es ging darum, dass wir irgendwann mal einen neuen Schlagzeuger suchten, bevor wir dann PJ gefunden hatten. Äh, zwischendrin und, wir hatten ihm eine Kassette vorgespielt. Er kam da nicht, also, das hörte sich an, als wenn er überhaupt nicht spielen konnte. Und na ja, gut, das ging dann so eine Weile und dann sagte „Jungs, wenn es euch nicht stört, ich nehme die Kassette mit nach Hause und komme nächste Woche wieder.“ Und er kam wieder, hatte sich alles in Noten geschrieben und hat das perfekt gespielt. Aber wir mussten ihm leider absagen, weil, äh, so was funktioniert mit Forrest nicht, weil so wie wir eben, aufgehört hatten, äh, wenn wir 'n Song angefangen hatten, wir wussten eigentlich nie, ob wir ihn auch so fertig spielen würden, wie wir das vorgesehen hatten. Öfters haben wir dann zwischendrin das Lied komplett umgeschrieben. Da wurde 'n komplett anderer Song draus, genauso wie wir auch verschiedene Songs in 3, 4, 5 verschiedenen Versionen über die Jahrzehnte hatten. Also, das zu der Spontanität, mit der das manchmal auf der Bühne, zuging bei Forrest. Und da geht natürlich ein Schlagzeuger, der Noten braucht, funktioniert da nicht. Ja,
So thank you so much for that. So what we're going to do now is just play this video, a beautiful, beautiful tribute video by Christelle, and I know somebody else helped her. I don't remember exactly who. And just some beautiful music with some beautiful pictures and so forth. And we'll watch this, Hayo, and then just come on very briefly to say some closing remarks.
ja.
Maybe you can just share that real quick if you don't mind, please.
Also, wir spielen jetzt, einen Song, was, den Christel und ihre Tochter mit einigen, Bildern aus Bodos, Musikerzeit als Video zusammengestellt haben. Und dann werden wir hinterher noch ein paar Takte reden und dann werden wir den Stream beenden. Gut.
Hayo, let me try this again. Maybe I didn't put the music on. Let me just try this one more time. I don't know why we're not hearing the music,
I
but we're gonna.
I was hearing the music.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I just, wanted to
turn it up. Okay.
turn
Somebody
it
hit.
up a bit.
Okay, perfect. So I will continue on then.
One day in the desert, in the middle of nowhere, nothing round, only you and the sand, and the silence far out there.
Wow. I
Ja,
mean, again, just the man must have been a prophet, in the way that he wrote these songs. So, anyways, Hayo, thank you for we know that these tributes and whatever, they're not, in my heart, I would say, we do these because we want to pay tribute to people, but we also know that this is good for our own soul to be able to express ourselves about someone that we loved and that really contributed a lot to the world, and so much of the world didn't know about him. And so I would also say the same about you now that I'm feeling nice and touchy, that you've been a great friend, a longtime friend, and I don't suppose this is the last time that I will see you. But I just thank you so much for taking the time and memorializing Bodo for the rest of us. So if you would please maybe say this in German, but also any parting words that you might have.
ja, also Kevin meinte gerade, wir haben das hier gemacht, um einfach zu würdigen, was Bodo ja geleistet hat. Ist, es sind es ist blöd, sowas in Worte zu fassen. Er hat uns so viel mit der Musik gegeben, das wollen wir einfach irgendwie hochhalten, nicht vergessen. Wir werden es auch bewahren und ja, eigentlich hatte Bodo mit diesem Lied, wir haben der Anfang ist ja ziemlich ausgedehnt, Gitarre und Bass, wir haben da so ein bisschen rumgefummelt und haben dann gesagt, ja Mensch, da wird doch ein Schuh draus, und dann ist das Lied entstanden. Es sollte eigentlich tatsächlich, so wie es sich anhörte, ein Schlussstrich unter Forrest sein. Er konnte das gar nicht einhalten. Bodo kann nicht aufhören, Musik zu machen. Und wir haben ja auch nicht aufgehört. Es gab dann sogar 2018 oder 17 schon eine Reunion. Wir wollten eigentlich wieder durchstarten mit unserem Programm und auch neue Sachen machen. Aber dann hat die Krankheit zugeschlagen und wir kamen also über einen kleinen Auftritt nicht hinaus. Und danach, ja, ging es Bodo eigentlich zunehmend schlechter. Ja,
Thank you, Hayo, and thank you to everybody who has attended here today, and wish everybody else who gets a chance to watch this on video. It will come up here pretty soon. So thank you again, Hayo. Thank you, Christelle, also for helping us, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.